In the small town of Willow Creek, there lived a girl named Elara. She was just 12 years old but felt much older because of the heavy burden she carried. Her days were filled with fear and uncertainty as she faced her father's harsh words and cold demeanor. He was a man who believed in strict discipline, and Elara felt trapped under his rule. Each day brought new challenges as she tried to please him, but nothing ever seemed good enough. Elara often found herself dreaming of a different life, one where she could be free to laugh and play without the shadow of her father's anger looming over her. The town whispered rumors about her father, leading many to look at her with pity. She spent most of her time in her small room, finding solace in books filled with adventures far removed from her own painful reality. As the day of the auction approached, dread settled in Elara's heart. She had heard the hushed conversations about being sold to the highest bidder. Fear gripped her soul at the thought of being taken away from everything she knew, but deeper down, a tiny spark of hope flickered. Would someone rescue her? Little did she know that someone special was watching from afar, ready to change everything. As the sun rose on the day of the auction, a thick tension hung in the air around Willow Creek. The townspeople gathered in the town square, murmuring amongst themselves as they awaited an event few had ever witnessed. Colorful banners fluttered above but felt misplaced against the gravity of what was about to occur. Curiosity mixed with sadness as neighbors exchanged worried glances, unsure how to react. Elara stood nervously at one end of the makeshift stage her father had set up, feeling exposed under the watchful eyes of everyone. Her heart raced as she heard snippets of conversation floating around her. Some townsfolk expressed their disapproval, while others eyed her with pity and concern. "How could he do this?" they whispered, shaking their heads. As her father called out for bids, silence fell over the crowd. People waited, some with grim faces while others seemed eager to place a bid for a chance to control her fate. Elara felt small and insignificant among them, like a lost bird trapped in a cage. Deep down, she hoped that someone would speak up, that someone would save her from this dreadful moment. Yet all she could do was stand there and pray for a miracle as the first bid rang out. As the auction continued, a quiet figure lingered at the edge of the crowd. His name was Mr. Thompson, known as the quietest man in town. He seldom spoke, and when he did, his words were soft and gentle, carrying the warmth of kindness. Tall and slender, with a weathered face that hinted at years of caring for others, he often went unnoticed among the townsfolk bustling about their daily lives. Mr. Thompson had a mysterious presence. He didn't join in the gossip or laughter that filled the square. Instead, he spent his time helping those in need, whether it was mending fences or offering a warm meal to someone who was hungry. The townspeople appreciated him, yet few truly knew him. Many described him as a guardian angel who blended into the background, always watching but rarely engaging. On that fateful day, however, his eyes were fixed on Elara. He noticed her trembling hands and fearful gaze as she stood on stage, and something inside him stirred. Deep down, he felt a calling to help her, to save her from a fate that should never be hers. As bids flew around him, he took a deep breath, ready to make a choice that would change both their lives forever. As Elara was presented to the crowd, her heart raced like a drum in her chest. She felt a wave of fear wash over her, making her knees weak as she stood on the makeshift stage. Her eyes darted around, taking in the faces of the townspeople who watched with a mix of curiosity and discomfort. The air was thick with tension, and she could hear whispers floating through the square, people discussing how wrong this auction was while others remained silent, unsure of how to react. Elara felt small and fragile, like a bird caught in a storm. She wanted to shrink away, to disappear from the gaze of those who looked at her with pity. Her father's voice echoed in her mind, reminding her that she was nothing more than a possession to be sold. As bids began to rise, anger and despair mixed within her, filling her with hopelessness. The crowd shifted restlessly, some exchanging uneasy glances as they tried to process what was happening. Elara's heart sank further with each call of a new bid. She longed for someone to step forward, to stop this cruel event and tell her she was not just an item up for sale. With every moment that passed, hope flickered dimly, but she clung to it with all her might. Just as the bidding intensified, an unexpected voice broke through the murmur of the crowd. 5 coins, called Mr. Thompson, startling everyone around him. The townspeople turned in disbelief, for they had never heard him speak so loudly before. Alara's heart skipped a beat as she recognized the quiet man she had often seen helping others, but never drawing attention to himself. Her father, taken aback by the bid, momentarily paused and narrowed his eyes at Mr. Thompson, wondering if anyone would take him seriously. 5 coins? Is that all you can offer? He scoffed. But there was a determined glint in Mr. Thompson's eyes as he replied calmly, It's all I can afford, but it's enough for her freedom. Gasps rippled through the crowd as they processed this unexpected turn of events. Alara felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. Could this truly be her chance? The atmosphere shifted from skepticism to anticipation as people began to murmur amongst themselves about what this could mean. Her father's frown deepened, but Mr. Thompson stood firm. With every passing moment, the tension in the square grew heavier, turning the auction into a dramatic standoff that nobody had anticipated. As the auction concluded, Alara felt a wave of confusion wash over her. Mr. Thompson stepped forward, a gentle smile on his weathered face, and addressed her father. I'm here to buy her freedom, he announced with calm conviction. Alara's heart raced. She could hardly believe what she was hearing. Instead of servitude, she was being offered a chance at a new life. Her father, now silent and defeated, stepped back, unable to argue against the quiet man's surprising resolution. The townspeople looked on in awe as Mr. Thompson turned to Alara, gently taking her hand in his. You are no longer for sale, he assured her, his voice soft yet filled with strength. The words wrapped around her like a warm blanket, soothing her anxieties. Alara blinked back tears as she processed this revelation. For the first time, she felt a sense of safety and belonging. The town square buzzed with murmurs of disbelief, but all she could focus on was the kindness radiating from Mr. Thompson. In that moment, surrounded by the stillness of the shocked crowd, she found her glimmer of hope blossoming into something real, freedom at last. As Mr. Thompson took Alara's hand, he led her away from the auction stage and into the quieter streets of Willow Creek. The sun had begun to set, casting a warm golden light that danced across the cobblestones, creating a soothing atmosphere that felt almost magical. Alara glanced back at the square, where murmurs of disbelief continued to rise, but her focus remained on the gentle man beside her. Are you okay? Mr. Thompson asked softly, his voice like a soothing balm to her frazzled nerves. Alara nodded slowly, still processing the whirlwind of emotions she had just experienced. He smiled reassuringly at her, his eyes full of understanding and kindness. As they walked, he pointed out the blooming flowers in a nearby garden and shared stories of the town's history. Stories meant to bring comfort and distract her from the turmoil she had just escaped. With each word, Alara felt her fear begin to melt away, replaced by a warmth that filled her heart. Mr. Thompson stopped at a small pond and gestured for her to sit on a nearby bench. Take your time, he said gently. You're safe now. For the first time in years, Alara truly believed it was true. She had been saved from despair and was finally free to discover who she truly was. As days turned into weeks, Alara and Mr. Thompson spent more time together, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. They wandered through the vibrant gardens of Willow Creek, where colorful flowers bloomed like the new life Alara was beginning to embrace. Mr. Thompson shared stories about his childhood in the town, filled with adventures and lessons learned along the way. His laughter echoed through the air like music, and Alara found herself smiling more often than not. One afternoon, as they sat by the pond where butterflies flitted about, Alara felt a surge of curiosity. Why do you help people so much? She asked softly. Mr. Thompson paused, looking thoughtful before replying. I believe everyone deserves kindness, especially those who have faced hardships. His words resonated deeply with her, illuminating her understanding of his gentle nature. In return, Alara began to share her own story, her struggles with her father, and the fear that had once held her captive. Mr. Thompson listened intently, his eyes filled with compassion. "You're so brave," he said gently, and Alara felt a sense of pride swell within her. With each confession, they peeled away layers of fear and loneliness, slowly building a friendship grounded in trust and understanding that neither had expected, but both cherished deeply. As Alara and Mr. Thompson began to integrate into the community, they faced whispers and sidelong glances from the townspeople. Some were skeptical, questioning how a quiet man could be trusted with a girl who had just been sold at an auction. "What does he want with her?" they murmured among themselves, casting doubt on their bond. Alara felt the weight of their judgment, and it stung. She often overheard snatches of conversation while she and Mr. Thompson walked through the market or visited local shops. She noticed the way people's smiles faded when they saw them together, replaced by frowns of disapproval. Determined not to let negativity ruin their newfound happiness, Mr. Thompson encouraged Alara to stand tall and embrace who she was. "People can be afraid of what they don't understand," he explained one afternoon as they sat by the pond. "But kindness is stronger than fear." Together, they decided to show the townspeople that their relationship was built on trust and care. They volunteered at community events, helping those in need, and slowly began to change perceptions. With each act of kindness, Alara felt more assured of her place in Willow Creek, hopeful that acceptance would come with time as they continued to build their lives together. One sunny afternoon, as Alara and Mr. Thompson walked home from the market, they were confronted by a group of townspeople who had grown increasingly hostile. Fueled by rumors and fear, they gathered to express their anger over Mr. Thompson's relationship with the girl they once viewed as a possession. "What kind of man are you?" one man shouted. "You're taking advantage of her." Alara's heart raced, and she felt a chill run down her spine as their shouts echoed around her. She wanted to hide behind Mr. Thompson, but instead, she realized she had to stand strong beside him. "He saved me," she exclaimed, her voice shaking but filled with determination. "He cares for me." The crowd hesitated as Alara spoke up, but their expressions remained skeptical. Just then, someone from the back shouted, "You don't belong here." That threat hung in the air like a storm cloud ready to burst. Mr. Thompson stepped forward protectively. "We may be different," he said calmly but firmly, "but kindness knows no bounds." With courage surging through them both, Alara and Mr. Thompson faced the crowd together, knowing that this moment could either solidify their bond or threaten everything they had fought for. In the following weeks, Alara and Mr. Thompson worked diligently to create a safe space for themselves and build acceptance within Willow Creek. They continued to volunteer at local events, helping those in need, and shared their experiences with others, slowly breaking down the walls of prejudice that had formed around them. One day, they organized a community picnic in the park, inviting everyone to join and share their stories. As people gathered, Alara stood beside Mr. Thompson, her heart pounding with anticipation. She watched as familiar faces from the town approached hesitantly, unsure but curious about the bond they had formed. During the picnic, Alara shared her journey from fear to freedom, speaking about the importance of kindness and understanding. Mr. Thompson followed suit, emphasizing that everyone deserves compassion, regardless of their past. The crowd listened intently, and for the first time, Alara noticed nods of agreement among them. As laughter replaced whispers of doubt, Alara felt a significant shift. The townspeople began to see them not as an oddity but as individuals capable of bringing about positive change. With each smile exchanged and story shared, Alara and Mr. Thompson paved the way for acceptance, creating a sense of belonging that embraced their unique friendship in Willow Creek. As time passed, Alara and Mr. Thompson settled into their new life in Willow Creek, cultivating a home filled with warmth and understanding. Their unique bond became a beacon of hope, illustrating the transformative power of kindness and courage. With each shared meal, laughter, and late-night conversation, they created a family that transcended traditional definitions, one built on mutual respect and love. The challenges they faced brought them closer, teaching Alara the true meaning of family. She learned that families can be formed through choice and connection rather than just blood ties. In Mr. Thompson, She found not only a protector, but also a mentor who encouraged her to pursue her dreams and find her voice. Together, they continued to serve their community, inspiring others to embrace acceptance and understanding. The townspeople, once skeptical, began to celebrate the duo as local heroes who fostered change through their unwavering spirits. Alara saw this transformation as a chance to redefine herself, a young girl shaped by resilience and filled with hope for the future. In this new chapter of her life, Alara understood that freedom was not just an escape from fear, but also the ability to build relationships that mattered. With Mr. Thompson by her side, she was finally home.